Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is August 15th, 2021. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, so just a little quick market overview. Got up to this, 368, 369-ish level right here, 370-ish, and kind of have gone sideways since, July 23rd-ish. Not doing anything wrong, just consolidating these gains, letting moving averages catch up, still in bullish alignment. So the expectation would be that this is a level of interest, which has not exceeded yet, but hasn't broken down either. And the next breakout should be higher. Again, based on my other work, and I see breadth improving. I see bonds not really having any kind of issues going on now, and so on and so forth. Things I do in my state of the market video, that I still think that we are in a bullish territory and we should be looking for opportunities in the market to make some money. And so this week, format's gonna be a little bit different. So I'm looking for main characters now. I'm not just going to try to throw out every, 30, 40 names, whatever. I'm going to look for main characters. So split up into 3 different sections, actually 4 sections. One is going to be actionable items. So the first bunch will be actionable. The second series, I have 10 of them today, will be things that need maybe a little pullback, and it's going to be soon, maybe this week, maybe next week, things that have that are soon. And my 4th column, which I have 4 items in, will be patience, things that are extended and really need to start to set up again. And that's my patience list. All right, I still have a few jet fuel scan ones. That's 3 of those. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my top 5 setups that I am watching, or names that charts that I just like best. All right, no particular order in those, but I'm going to give you 5 of them of the ones I go over today that I really like. All right, so let's get started. First one, XM. So this one, IPO'd, had this big bottom area right here, and now it has, completed this IPO bottom base, whatever you want to call it. Now it's got this tight range right over here, fairly tight range. And so that looks really good. We have a while till earnings. That's good. And if you take this out, you see there's some nice accumulation, right? Once you get out this gigantic bar, it kind of shows the volume better. You see the down days are much lower than the up days. Things are looking good here as it goes through the consolidation period. So that's XM. Next one is GLBE. Now GLBE, let's go to a weekly chart, because I think that's where this gets real interesting on the weekly. Okay, so potential high type flag from the IPO. I think that's a big deal. But it does have earnings on Monday, so we'll find out on Monday if that's a catalyst for it to move higher or to break down. We don't know, but I think this is the important area right there. It's kind of been consolidating again since end of July in this area. Again, the range is not too bad, right? I mean, you got this little range expansion right here, and then it's kind of tightening up again. So we will see. But Monday morning earnings, so be careful with that. But I like GLBE, MDB, MongoDB. Just to kind of show you this trend line from all the way from February has held, and now we're challenging it again. Some nice volume on this side of this kind of base that's going. Looks great. Again, I think that you could probably do a horizontal, something like that too, right? That's just kind of a dual thing. So if we get above this area, I think MongoDB could go much higher. REZI's on here. Again, let's go to a weekly chart, because again, this is a big picture idea from the IPO. And price is now trying to break out beyond the IPO, right? It tried right here last week. It failed, but it didn't fail that hard. And so now it's just this tight consolidation since March. So we'll find out. This looks like a shakeout right here, right? This week, this was a shakeout week, and it came right back up. So that's exciting. Let's see if there is any more pullback. I'd like to see, this 28-ish area hold. We'll see about that. But that's REZI. And again, on the daily chart, there's your shakeout right there. And it's kind of making this base. Maybe that ends up forming some kind of like consolidation handle. But look at this volume right here, looking really good. REZI. Snap is on here again. It gapped up and it's holding this gap nicely. So why not, put it on here. I don't ever use the product and whatever, but it looks good. The chart looks good. And again, on this pullback, it's much lighter volume. So if this is, something you like, I think as long as it's above, 71-ish, 71, 72. I think it looks pretty good. So snap again. Anything that holds its gap the way it is, it has done so far. I think that's a positive, right? Especially if it holds this low right there. Low is 71.83. So yeah, I definitely, if it breaks 71.83, then we'll see. But snap. Next up, MP. So this was a cup and handle that tried to break out here, reversed lower. It's rolled over a little bit here, but it's still in a very, great risk reward, viable range. And as of right now, it's making higher lows, right? So this is starting to develop almost like a VCP type pattern if next week it goes back up, right? And doesn't take out this low right here. So if it goes back up, that would be VCP, each pullback being bought sooner. And that's what I'm looking for next week. So I definitely would watch that one. If you see this one do very well on, Monday, early in the week, watch for this breakout, right? That would be very, very good. Also, if you notice on this pullback, very, very light volume. So, look at that. That's really, that's a nice, look as it's consolidating. That is MP. All right, NTLA. Again, it had the big gap in end of June, and it's gone sideways. To me, this was like a cup and handle. Whether it is, I don't know. It's still making the handle right here. Again, volume drying up in the handle. That's really good to see. Earnings out of the way. I love the risk reward in this one. I think this one looks like it wants higher patterns, right? Everything's looking right in this one. So it looks really, really good. NTLA. Square. So Square's in this one, and let's go. So it's been consolidating for a long time, almost all year, basically. And it has a kind of double bottom-ish look to it, right? Kind of something like that. And now maybe it's one big kind of ladle and handle. I don't know, whatever it is. But as it's pulling back here, once again, look at the volume. And that's what I'm kind of focused on a little bit on a lot of these charts. It's drying up. And I love to see that. Now it did, listen, so it met supply here. Absolutely. It's met it here before, here before, here before, here before. Great. Fine. I understand. But this to me says that the sellers are getting really tired. And as the sellers are getting tired, I love the risk reward, very actionable. Watch for Square this week. SGEN. So SGEN, which is now CGEN, again, amazing accumulation, right? Right over here. I love to see how this is in the base, these green skyscrapers. And as it's pulling back, just like Square and so many others, we're seeing a dry up in volume, kind of similar to this areas too, right? So again, the risk reward greatly in your favor here. I like it against the 23-day EMA. That's about 154. That's a nothing risk reward almost. So I love that. That's for the early entry. The more traditional entry would be above 164.5-ish, somewhere around there. But yeah, early entry would be right here basically. And again, I'm using probably 154 as my stop. And last one in this group is Celsius. So Celsius had earnings and it did all kinds of wonky stuff as things do in earnings. But it held this area. And so that's the important thing. It kind of pulled back into this prior area of resistance, right? And so that's in my opinion, exactly what I'm looking for. Good risk reward scenarios. This is, they make energy drinks is kind of what they do. And so this right now is looking pretty good to me. This is even kind of fat. I could probably even tighten this up to about there. I think that's reasonable. Even here, I think that's reasonable. Yeah, so I think above, as long as it stays above my green box right here, I think it looks good. It may need some time, to kind of consolidate. We'll see. Had a big run up into earnings, so it is what it is. Pulled back, but I do think it's I like the risk reward here. Again, it may need just a little bit more time, but I think it's actionable because we don't know, and it could pop. All right, so there we go. There was 10 actionable names that I think to watch this week. So now I have 6 that are on my soon list, right? Soon. All right, first one is DataDog. So DataDog, again, here's your gap that I love. And so I couldn't get it off the gap. I waited. I actually did get in on this is one of the names. I own a few of these names that I'm going over today, by the way. But this is one I do own actually. And I bought this pullback into the moving average. It's done well so far. It's still extended, right? So I expect this to be volatile, but this is the relevant low right here, 122, right? So if it stays above 122, then I think that DataDog has a much higher future coming up soon. But yeah, so it may need a little bit more time. Watch it this week. Could it shoot up on Monday? Absolutely. No one knows what's going on. But look, people are acquiring shares. I mean, since earnings, look at this, right? This is being accumulated. That's what we're looking for. Follow the whales. I mean, just look at all of this. That's as good as it gets right there. So DDOG, CHWY. Here's CHWY right here. And again, we have a few weeks until earnings. This has been support resistance right here. It's in a beautiful uptrend. Again, it's starting to get a little extended. And you see on Friday, this is kind of an inverted hammer, a little bit of an exhaustion looking candle. But the accumulation is there. So, let it chill out, consolidate, maybe pull back into the moving averages. If it's far enough away from earnings date, September 1st, and it's, your cup of tea, go for it. But I like CHWY a lot. Definitely one to watch to see if it does have some kind of consolidation. Palantir is on this list. So Palantir is, again, a real popular name. Here's from the IPO. Here's the VWAP from the IPO. Here's the VWAP from the top, right? And look where they're coming in right over here. So let's zoom in just a little bit. And they had earnings, did very well in earnings, nice volume coming in. It looks like accumulation in here. Look how tight this got right there. Looks like this was accumulation. So this is a serious bottom right here. It held so far inside day on Friday, but still held this. It didn't break down. It's trying to get above VWAP from the highs right here. That's a big deal. And then there's some overhead supply in here too. So, maybe this needs to finish off some kind of base and pull back. It's extended. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does run up a little bit more and then kind of lets the moving averages catch up. And then you get the breakout. That would be really normal, really healthy. I mean, we don't know the future, but that's what I'm looking for in this one. Right here, it's kind of no man's land. I don't think the risk reward is great right here. So again, I think above here or a pullback into moving averages makes a lot of sense. Why it's on my soon list, right? Just watch it for a little bit. Next up is CDAY. This is Ceridian Holdings. Not even sure what they do, but it doesn't really matter. This one tried to hit highs back here in December, and now we're coming back up to that area. It's getting kind of extended. Had some nice, post earnings movement, and now starting to consolidate. It's not quite there yet. Needs a little bit more work to do. No big deal. Just watch it. Watch for this consolidation right near at all-time highs. And again, look at Friday. No volume, right? The sellers are starting to get tired, right? Buyers showed up right here. So I would just kind of watch this for a few days. And again, if it fits what you're looking for and moving averages have caught up to it, good luck. Next up, Silvergate Capital, SI. So this one, Friday, this candle was a little disappointing, to be honest with you. And so it's on my soon list because I'm not sure how much I trust this name right now. Actually, I do have a position in this one too. Again, I have a few of these positions and a few of these names. And I loved it versus here. It hasn't done anything wrong yet, right? But it hasn't, it didn't hold this breakout, which I was really hoping it would have. And it reversed lower. Don't love to see that. So I think if you don't have a position and are looking at a name like this, I would just watch it for a few days and see if it can, get above this, 119-ish area. Above 119, 119, 120-ish. I like Silvergate all day long. If it starts breaking down below this 108-ish area, I'd probably be out, but we'll see. But again, it is making higher lows. So if this can, again, roll back up, even if it gets down to 120 or even it gets down to, almost 100, it would actually be okay, right? Just in a range and still making higher lows. We'll call it 102. Again, so I'm looking at these higher lows. Would love to see this kind of make a U-turn right here, maybe come touch the 23-day and then U-turn and go around. So it's on my soon because I don't trust it fully yet, but one to watch for sure. And last one on this list is DoorDash. Again, from the IPO, had earnings, it sold off on earnings, nailed. So the VWAP is from the IPO right here. This one, it handed off right there. This is, from, if Alpha Trends, Brian Shannon, this is VWAP and Ben, Pattern Profits. They do a lot of work with VWAP. Here's the handoff, boom, came down, basically touched the VWAP from the handoff and then reversed back up and buyers showed up. All right, so this is definitely, again, very volatile, maybe a little extended. Let's see what happens next week. It could continue higher on Monday, who knows? But this is one that I think definitely should watch and is on my soon list because it's starting to get a little bit extended. But I do like it. I do like how it reversed higher. And again, look at this volume accumulation. I mean, it looks like funds are in here buying since the IPO. So that looks really, really good. All right, those were my soon list. And here's my patience list. And I have 4 names on this. LTHM is my first one. I try to get involved with his name. It just never pulled back, screamed higher. It's the way it happens. Now we see this candle, kind of an exhaustion candle. So now let's watch for it to kind of pull back, maybe retest 24. If it does, that's right where these moving averages are going to be catching up to it. And that'd be a great risk reward area. So have some patience, right? Right in here. LTHM, love this name longer term. Just give it some time and for a watch. EXPI screamed higher. This was 36% and kept going, held it beautifully, amazing volume, but it's extended. And again, so it's giving back some of those gains down, right? That was an 8% down day on Friday. It's still extended in my opinion. So let's watch it, maybe go sideways, maybe pull back, maybe just consolidate within this kind of wider range right there. Maybe it starts to tighten up in this range. That'd be really cool. Let these moving averages catch up, and then EXPI has potential. DOCS, new IPO. We got to slap on a VWAP from there. It was up, what was that, 33%, then another 13%, right? And that makes an inside day. Listen, this is a new name, strong name. I see a lot of people posting on this name. So it could keep going, right? It may not let these moving averages catch up. And if it does, it would go without me because this to me doesn't show good risk reward unless you're going to maybe put your stop at 73 or play some kind of shorter time frame. For me, in my time frame, not really what I'm looking for. Maybe if you buy it above 80 and put your stop at 80, whatever you think. I mean, but for me, this is patience. Let it relax, let it chill out, and then we'll go from there. And my last one in this group is going to be Unity Software. Again, this is a big IPO from last year. And there's your IPO VWAP, and it broke out of this area. And now it zoomed higher, right? What we have 13, 4, and another 1. Again, the volume coming through is just awesome. But look how extended it is. So again, I'm watching for this to either move sideways or come back and try to retest, maybe 115-ish. And then that'd be a good risk reward. I don't think, based on this volume and what it looks, it's probably gonna come back and test 115. I think if it consolidates in a range and stays above 122 and lets these kind of catch up, that may be a better area, but it's got to consolidate. It's too extended. I mean, look at all the space. So just not for me right now, but I do like this name a lot. So have some patience. All right, so 3 jet fuels. First one, KNBE. I was in this one up here. I sold out of it, obviously for good reason. It kept going, and then kaboom, up 26%. I don't know what happened or the reason or what they announced or anything like that. But here's the VWAP from the IPO. Price is right there. If this consolidates a little bit, you see these moving averages are starting to come back in. It needs to consolidate, gets above the VWAP, maybe above $26. That's the high from the IPO. I like KNBE. Again, this is a high short interest name. So be aware of that. I always keep these positions very small because, as you can see, this is a very volatile name, but that was a big day, big deal right here. And it's setting up again. So keep an eye on that one. Arch is in this list. Just moving higher, right? I mean, it's a coal name, right? So, but it's got a high short interest. It broke out, retested, and it's moving higher. Again, it's not moving as fast as some of my other short squeeze names could move, but that's okay. It's grinding higher. I actually own this one. It's doing fine for me, and the trend is higher. And in this one, as it gets through all the supply, these shorts eventually are going to have to capitulate, and hopefully we get some quick moves into there, like something like this, even something like this, and then I'll determine what I want to do at that point. But Arch looks good, still very actionable, especially if it breaks out above 69. The last one in this group is going to be BYSI, Beyond Spring, and this one is, not that recent of an IPO, but this is the IPO VWAP. Let's get closer in here. Again, it's a short squeeze candidate. Had this gigantic 176% move up right here. And now it's holding its gap. It's kind of come back into the moving averages. This is basically what I'm looking for, right? Big up. Now it's going to come back into the moving averages. I think this 2050-ish area should hold. There's your 9-day right there. There's your VWAP from the IPO right there. Your 23 days trying to catch up at this point. Earnings coming up August 23rd, according to TradingView. So that's a big deal. It's a little soon, but as it's pulling back, you're seeing obviously a smaller and smaller volume come into it. So this one looks like it wants higher. Somebody bought a lot of shares right here, and so we'll see if they support it at the VWAP from the IPO. I like it against this area right there. We'll see what happens. Again, it's a short squeeze name. Keep the positions small because these things can be extremely, extremely volatile. All right, so let's go over my top 5. Here's my top 5 from these. No jet fuel names in this one. I had 20 names. My top 5. First one is going to be REZI. Again, no particular order, but this one, if it gets above, 3250. This one, all-time highs, beautiful base. I love the way this looks. Great place to manage risk against. Great risk reward. Would love to see maybe a little bit more of a VCP in here. It may happen. It may not happen. Nice accumulation. I like REZI. MP is on here. The pattern's there. The dry up in volume is there. The VCP is there if this turns around. Very defined risk. Love MP. NTLA. Again, gapped up. The pattern is there. The dry up is there. This is absolutely perfect. Again, it starts to confirm, but I love the setup. DDOG, in some ways, very similar. The gap up, it moved higher. This one obviously needs a little bit of time, but I love the way this looks, and the volume is just intense. So I love that one. And the last one is going to be Unity. Again, this shows gigantic accumulation by institutions. this is on my patience list. It does need more time, but I like it longer term. Get a good entry. I think that could be a big winner. Yeah, all these names are pretty good. Those are my top 5, but I would take a portfolio. This would be awesome. All right. I hope you guys like this. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what I missed down below. Leave me a comment. I try to respond to everybody. Good luck this week. Stay safe out there. You can find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I post these videos and all my scans and everything else every single day. Again, I appreciate the likes. I appreciate when you guys subscribe and watch the videos. It really does help me out. And y'all take care.